But you don't have to. But the rest of us do. Wait, behind the screen. What do you mean? Wait, how are we doing the question?
Goes hand in hand with expression.
And the script is so long. Did you see that? No, the script is wrong.
Not expecting that.
Sorry.
Well, I don't know if it's all the way in the back. It's all the way in the front. All the way in the front. Let's go over there.
No, we're gonna go to the front. We're going to the front.
Where? We were gonna sit here, but we really don't have Hey, Rosie people, sit up. So can we move to the front? Okay, Anna's in there. We'll move to the front.
Delegates, please come to order. My name is Sarah Anderson. It is my true pleasure to be serving as the 2023-2024 Blue Speaker of the House. I am sincerely looking forward to working with delegates from both the East and the West in order to have a fantastic year of Pennsylvania youth in government. Throughout the coming year, we presiding officers will be working to accomplish some of the goals we have set forth for the Pennsylvania youth in government. At this time, I would like to welcome our 78th Youth Governor, Dia Singh, to give her address to the Assembly.
Thank you, Sarah. It is my honor to serve as your 2023-2024 Youth Governor. I am so excited for the year that lies ahead, working with this incredible team of presiding officers, as well as my Chief of Staff, Ben Walsh. Whether you are a new delegate coerced into coming by upperclassmen here at the promise of free candy, or are a seasoned YAG veteran, welcome to Western Elections Convention. The energy today in the room is palpable. Not too long ago, I was a jittery candidate sitting on your very seats. I can still taste the fear and anxiety that I felt the day of my first elections convention. It is with this in mind that I offer my sincerest congratulations to everyone who has decided to run today. It takes a lot of guts to not only be able to speak confidently in front of all of these people, but also to confront the possibility of losing. No matter the outcome, you have already done something remarkably courageous. For all the people who are not running for positions, you have an equally significant role. You are the deciders. I implore you to look beyond crisp suits and potent words to elect the best candidates. Seek out the people with a genuine desire to serve in the positions they are pursuing. As someone who has seen a few ECs, allow me to offer some more friendly advice. Ask candidates challenging questions, but make sure they aren't unreasonable and that they are respectful. Put yourself out there and meet as many people as you can. Grab as much campaign candy as you want, but don't eat too much, your stomach will hurt. Lastly, remember to live up to the standard that our model government reflects the qualities that we wish our real one to hold. I'm looking forward to a great day, and with that, I'd love to welcome Greg Rutter for his address to the Assembly.
All right, well, thank you very much, Madam Governor. So, we have some folks here we need to point out and thank. So first of all, Dia's mentioned this. Look, you've carved out a Saturday for us today. So delegates, thank you for making the trip to Somerset. Candidates, like Dia just mentioned, this is your day. This is your day to let folks know who you are, the things that you are passionate about, the kinds of things you'll do as a successful elected candidate. So this is your day. And so for all of you, take it in, right? Ask those good questions, right? Provide those good answers. Have that dialogue and enjoy the day for sure. Advisors and volunteers, we're not here unless the advisors are allowed to take us on this trip or meet us here. So let's give our advisors and volunteers a round of applause for making this possible today. We have several alumni here today helping out. We have advisors that were in the program when they were teenagers, and now they are giving back to the program. And we made this plug to our delegation leaders and advisors a few minutes ago. Raise your hand if you're a senior. Okay, so you're going to go off to college maybe, or go off and get a job, and maybe take a year off to contemplate how impactful your experience was here. Then you're going to reach back out to Casey and say, I want to volunteer for youth and government, and we're going to gladly take you in. This program survives year to year and has since 1946 because of the volunteer structure. So if you're a youth and government student that wants to continue to give back, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you helping out. Our presiding officers, you've helped us plan thus far. We appreciate you. We are grateful. Words just cannot express how impressed we are with your leadership, and we thank you for today. We look forward to a great day of leadership from you again. Today we will be electing, Speaker of the House? Yeah. Last week we elected the Gold Lieutenant Governor, and here in a few weeks, instead of 5, we'll have 7 presiding officers. So an important day for those races today. And again, thank you to Somerset for hosting. Let's give it up for Somerset for making this day possible. And so behind the scenes, right, the person that you have to reach out to the most, receive emails from the most, the person that helps organize this for us, the person that keeps me from making too many mistakes is our program director, who herself not only was a student in the program, but also a candidate. She won some races, and she lost some races. She knows how it feels. But thank you, Casey Roberts, for all that you do to make these events possible. Appreciate it very much. Last month, I had an opportunity to travel a bit, and I found myself standing behind a person wearing a shirt that said these words. You may have seen these shirts. You may own one yourself. Dear person behind me, the world is a better place with you in it. Lots of love from the person in front of you. Raise your hand if you've seen those words before on a t-shirt. Okay, awesome. Have you thought about why someone would choose to wear that shirt? Have you ever thought about what the impact or significance is to choose to wear that shirt? What motivates someone? What do you think? What's significant about the words being on the back? So in your head, answer those questions for me. Just take a few seconds. What motivates someone to wear that shirt? And what's the significance of the words being printed on the back? Now, there are lots of right answers here, right? Let me give you a couple possible takeaways. I think choosing to do this says something profound about the wearer, does it not? The person that chooses to wear that shirt. Think about all the people that could be standing behind you, sitting behind you. Think about our political landscape right now. Think about how diverse the opinions are and how divided the two camps are. Can a Trump supporter wear that shirt with a Biden supporter sitting behind them? Can a Biden supporter wear that shirt with a Trump person sitting behind them? What do you think the point is for the words sit on the back? Why are the words there? Well, you can't form an opinion about someone without maybe talking to them, seeing their face, finding out where they stand ideologically, what their perspectives are. They're behind you. In other words, people matter, period. That's how important and significant that silly t-shirt is. Because what it does is it gives you no time to form an opinion about anyone from the back. Think about that. Let that sink in for a second. Because if you choose to do that, the wearer chooses to do that, what does it say about the viewer? What is my perception now of that person who's wearing the t-shirt that tells me I'm wonderful just because? Well, that says something about their character to me. And so now we have a wonderful opportunity perhaps for a dialogue. Whereas before, if I walk up to you and I form my first impression or opinion based upon something maybe you said, or a t-shirt you may be wearing that has something printed on the front that I don't agree with, that's now off the table. What we've decided in that moment is I matter and you matter, and nothing else matters. Really, ultimately. I said this before, I think I probably say it every year, I probably said it here last year, but it bears repeating. The world desperately needs all of us to care a little bit less about ourselves and a little bit more about someone else. Do you think about that? If we could live like that and really live like that, you want to talk about making a difference in the world? You'll make it. And that is true leadership. And that's what I want to challenge you today, to think and act and live that out. that the person behind you matters. And maybe open up opportunity to go to the front of them and introduce yourself and find out about them. Perhaps today and for the rest of the year, maybe be a little more curious, right? Rather than judgmental. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you this afternoon. Candidates, do well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. Now, please welcome Speaker of the House, Sarah Anderson, to call the Western Elections Convention to order. Shivani Umesh to call the Western Elections Convention to order.
Good morning, delegates. My name is Shivani Umesh, and I'm serving as your 2023-2024 Blue Lieutenant Governor. With honor, I hereby call to order the 2023-2024 Western Elections Convention. Delegates, please stay seated and come to order. Today I will serve as the Western Elections Convention chairperson, and as such will conduct all procedures and guide us through the election process. At this time, delegation leaders, please proceed to the floor mic near the front of the stage. We will now welcome each delegation to the convention. As I introduce each delegation, the delegation leader will approach the microphone, introduce their delegation, and announce the number of delegates present with them. I will be going in alphabetical order. Booker T. Washington. And all delegation leaders, please come up to the microphone at this time.
DeVaja Thomas, Booker T. Washington delegation, and it's just me today.
Brookville delegation.
Kerrigan Swartz, Brookville delegation, 13 delegates.
Butler YMCA. Butler YMCA.
Melissa Arcuri, Butler Y delegation, and we have 17 delegates. Thank you.
Commonwealth Charter Academy.
Eleni Rushton, CCA delegation, and we have 2 members.
Homer Center.
Riley Missick, Homer Center delegation, and we have 9 delegates.
Obama Academy. Knock. Okay. Knock.
Remy Kovac, Knock High delegation, we have 14 delegates.
Obama Academy.
Miriam Spack, Obama Academy, we have 24 delegates.
Rima Christian.
Mimi Chamberlain, Rama delegation, we have 5 delegates.
Rosie Snyder YMCA.
Robert Sosinick, Rose Center delegation, 31 delegates.
Swickley YMCA.
Charlie Burnett, Swickley YMCA, 1.
Somerset.
Robert Gregas, Somerset delegation, we have 27 delegates.
And the Youth Leadership Institute of Erie.
Bradley Gordon with the Youth Leadership Institute of Erie, 3 delegates.
The chair recognizes Chief Justice Ling Wu to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, delegates. It is an honor to serve as your 2023 to 2024 Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. I'm looking forward to working with all judicial delegates this year, and I'm excited to elect some of our associate justices today. Now, please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. There's 2 of them. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief Justice Wu. Before moving to the Meet the Candidates session, we are going to hear from the candidates for Gold Speaker of the House. We have 2 candidates running for the position of Gold Speaker of the House. We will hear from the speaker candidates in alphabetical order, beginning with Sophie Guile. All other candidates, please step outside of the chamber during the first speech. Now, please welcome our first candidate for Gold Speaker of the House, Sophie Guile. You have 3 minutes. I will tap my gavel once at 30 seconds and twice at 10 seconds.
Sophie Guile, Rosie Schneider delegation. 3 years ago, I was at my first model convention, walking into my very first chamber session, when I was told that my bill would be the 3rd one debated. If you're wondering how I felt in that moment, let's just say that me 3 years ago would not believe that I'm up here talking to you now. If I could talk to myself from 3 years ago, first I would give her a hug. Then I would tell her that her feeling she lacked all of the qualities she saw in other delegates was a lie. I would tell her that she is capable. Now, obviously, I can't go back in time and tell my younger self this, but I can tell you. I know it's a cliche story. I know it's one you've heard countless times before of a candidate walking into youth in government, quiet and a little worried, and coming out with incredible friendships and a brand of confidence that only comes from this program. And I think that that says something. I think that hearing that same story every year tells us about the nature of this program, about what it can do for a person. 3 years ago, I couldn't fathom speaking on the House floor, but I did, and now I'm here. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of how far I've come, and it's because of the Gold House and everyone in it. The Gold House poses this unique opportunity for growth, made of an array of different perspectives and opinions and brimming with potential. Your voices deserve to be amplified. I want to be in a position where I can do that, where I can make sure that each delegate gets equal speaking time, knows where their bill is on the calendar, do everything in my power to give the tools to become a version of themselves that they feel most proud of, because that's what the Gold House is about. It's a stepping stone. It's been a landmark in my life, and it's something that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. And I want that to be the same for you. I want it to mean just as much. Throughout my time as a Gold Committee Chair, I watched first-year delegates go through the same transformation I did, and it was beyond fulfilling to see them bloom. From starting model, receiving questions from my delegates like, how scary is it speaking on the House floor, or are they really gonna have to do that, to seeing them walk up to the podium and hearing their voices fill the chamber. Again and again, I felt that pride, like when by the end of the week, Violet had blown me away in committees, or when Lucas, a first year, presented his bill after explaining to me that he wasn't quite sure if he wanted to speak on the floor. He did, and his bill passed. Every time I see growth like this, I'm reminded of the fact that a middle schooler, a first year or a second year, has just as much to say as anyone in the Blue House. Looking back, I know now what I was capable of then. I see that. Looking out at all of you now, I see it too. I know just how much you're capable of. I know what your minds and your voices can do and become. So consider this my promise to you. If elected Gold Speaker of the House, I will do everything in my power to help you get to exactly where I know you can be. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Please exit the chamber. Now, please welcome our second candidate for Gold Speaker of the House, Katie Romsberg. Candidate, I will tap my gavel once at 30 seconds and twice at 10 seconds.
Katie Romsberg, Somerset Delegation. Hello, my fellow delegates. It is an honor and a privilege to be speaking to you today. My name is Katie Romsberg, and I'm running to be your 2023-2024 Youth in Government Gold Speaker of the House. I'm fully aware that every one of you here is going to listen to about 1,000 speeches today, so I'm going to try to make mine as memorable as possible. Debate and politics have been a huge part of my life for as long as I can remember. I've been going to political dinners and rallies since before I could walk, so I have a very in-depth idea of how government works. From serving as Gold House Committee Chair of Education at last year's model, to being a member of my school's student congress, to attending Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house, I'm very experienced with debate and can assure you that any challenges you throw at me, I will be able to handle. Last year's model was a truly life-changing experience. I learned so much about how to run a well-organized and efficient committee, while also making sure that my delegates were comfortable and confident in their abilities. While last year's model was such a wonderful experience, there were a few hiccups. The whole weekend is chaotic, and to the fault of no one, things sometimes slip through the cracks. I'm going to increase organization by implementing a folder system. Every committee chair will receive a folder in which they will place all of their bills and amendments, making the journey of the bill much more seamless. Seeing how the Gold House is mainly newer or younger delegates, maintaining a welcoming atmosphere and making sure delegates are comfortable in chambers is my #1 priority. The House chamber itself is an incredibly large and lavish room, so it can be very daunting the first time you get up there to speak. I'm going to make myself approachable and easy to reach, so if any delegates have questions, comments, or concerns, I will be able to help them to the best of my abilities. Writing bill calendars is a main duty of the Speaker of the House. My calendar will consist of a mix of both debatable and non-debatable bills, so as many delegates as possible are able to experience getting their bill signed by the governor. I think that advocating for yourself is incredibly important, so if you're unhappy with where your bill is placed on the calendar, please come and have a conversation with me and explain why you think your bill should be higher. Again, I would like to say, my name is Katie Romsberg, and I'm running to be your 2023-2024 Youth and Government Gold Speaker of the House. I yield my time.
Thank you. Will the first candidate please make her way to the stage? It is now in order to proceed into the town hall portion of our elections convention for Gold Speaker of the House candidates. Questions will be taken from the convention floor, and delegates wishing to ask questions are to approach to the microphone located at the front of the chambers once instructed to do so. Delegates are reminded to only ask appropriate questions relevant to the candidate's nomination for this position. Additionally, questions must be applicable to all present Gold Speaker candidates. Each candidate will now have the opportunity to answer questions with 30-second responses. The candidates will alternate answering questions, beginning with Sophie Guile. Again, 1 gavel tap means 15 seconds remaining, and 2 means 10 seconds. At this time, would all delegates wishing to ask questions to the candidates please approach to the microphone at the front of the chamber. Delegates are reminded to state their name and delegation before they begin.
Giselle Salsa, Rosie Schneider delegation. Thank you, Madam Chair. What is one obstacle you faced as Gold Chair that makes you a stronger candidate?
One obstacle I definitely faced was when Airtable went down, and I broke my heel running up to submit the bills by paper, but definitely tested my stress management, but we got them submitted in the end.
Katie Romsberg, Somerset delegation. I would also like to say Airtable going down. I did not break my heel, but I did fall down the stairs for the 2nd year in a row. It's kind of my thing now. Also, there was a bit of confusion with some of my bills were on paper and some of them were on Airtable, so there was a lot of back and forth getting a bill calendar put together. I yield.
Robert Gregus, Somerset delegation. What motivated each of you respectively to run for this leadership position?
I was motivated by the fact that I am the vice president of my delegation, so I often help out the younger delegates with learning Parley Pro, writing their bills, and generally getting to know youth and government as a program. I think it's so incredibly important that we help our younger delegates get to know youth and government. They are the future of the program, and I think that is how the program will survive.
Yeah, so I think that what motivated me is just the growth that I've seen from other delegates, from myself, in the time that I've been in the program. I think it's something so unique to YAG. You see these young kids really come into themselves and flourish in this incredible way, and I think that that's definitely why.
Liam Odell, Obama delegation, what makes you think that you're fit for this role?
So I think that I'm fit for this role because of the experience that I've had in the program. I've previously served as a Gold Committee Chair. I'm currently the Legislative Vice President of my program, and I've passed 3 bills in the past. As well as my outside of YAG experience, I currently serve on the Youth Board of the World Affairs Council of Pittsburgh. I'm also part of Model UN, Key Club, and Student Council and Class Officers, and all of those experiences really influence how I operate within YAG.
Hi, yes, I previously stated that I am the Vice President of my delegation, which was definitely a big part of it. I gained a lot of experience from that, obviously. I am also a member of the Student Congress, which is like youth in government, but smaller, kind of. I help out all the younger delegates. I also have, Okay.
Claire Troll, Somerset delegation. How would you organize your bill calendar?
I would organize my bill calendar by having a mix of debatable and non-debatable bills. I think that it is incredibly important that we get a lot of non-debatable bills up there because people are passionate about those too. I know that it's a lot more fun to debate debatable bills, but non-debatable bills are important as well. And people are really passionate about their bills, and I want to make sure that they all get a chance.
Yeah, so the most important for me is always effort. If I see a bill and it's well written and it's well researched, and you know that delegate put time into that, and you know they put effort, that will definitely rank highly on my bill calendar. I also feel strongly about intention, and advocacy. If a delegate comes up to me and says, I feel really strongly about this issue, I feel really strongly about the stance that I have on this, and I would love to see it higher, that's something I also absolutely take into consideration.
Joe Fernandez, Rosie Schneider delegation. Who is your YAG role model and why?
Ooh, my YAG role model. I would have to say, I know he's kind of out of the program, been out of the program for a while, but Rishan Sharma was a previous youth governor, and he's someone I've known personally in my life, and is just incredibly inspiring. He's one of the most hardworking and determined people I know. So yeah.
I think that my youth in government role model would probably be Jade Williams. She graduated a few years ago, but she was my roommate for the first year I was at Model, and she helped me so much. I got up and I spoke once the first year, and she helped me through that a lot, and I just love her, and I think she's a great person.
Delegates are encouraged to ask questions.
Claire Troll, delegation, Somerset delegation. How are you going to make people feel more comfortable, and how are you going to help them be able to easily speak?
I'm going to make people feel more comfortable because I have 3 years of experience in the Gold House, and I know a lot about helping kids through feeling really anxious about their bills. A lot of kids in my committee last year were not even sure they wanted to be in youth in government. They were so anxious. So I helped them by making sure that they had their speeches prepared well and that they knew the Parley Pro.
Yeah, something that I think is incredibly important when it comes to that is personal connections. I feel really strongly about getting to know delegates and, on a personal relationship level, and talking to them about whatever they need to chat about, whether it's YAG related or not. I also had a similar experience with some younger delegates who were pretty anxious and who absolutely flourished by the end of the week, and yeah.
Miriam Spack, Obama delegation. What's your favorite thing about your opponent?
My favorite thing about my opponent? So I've known Katie since my first year in YAG. Since our first year we had the same committee, and she is an incredibly passionate person, and that's something that I find really admirable. Everything that she does and says, you can tell that there's meaning behind that, and I think that that's so valuable.
Yeah, Sophie and I have known each other for a really, really long time. I love Sophie. She is one of the most well-spoken people I know. You can give her the most random topic, and she can talk about it like she's an expert, and I think that that's a really, really good skill to have.
Sydney Murdoch, Brookville delegation. What would be your best advice you would give to first-year delegates?
I think that my best advice I would give was to be prepared. I think that's the biggest thing. To go in with a speech made, to learn the Parley Pro, to make sure that you are informed about how the House works, and just to feel confident. It's not that big of a deal. We're all kids here, and you don't need to feel super anxious about talking to another 16-year-old. So.
Yeah, so I think my piece of advice would be, don't count yourself out before you've even started. I remember walking into YAG and seeing these people talking and thinking, there is no way that I can be on that type of level. But you don't know what your potential is and how far you can go until you try at that. So I think that would be my advice, is just do the absolute best you can.
For Honor Supply Rosie Schneider delegation, what is one thing that the previous gold speaker did that you admire and want to continue?
Yeah, so something that Lael did that I thought was really admirable is how much of an emphasis she put on advocacy. I felt so comfortable coming up to her at Model. I saw so many other delegates comfortable coming up to her at Model, and I think that that's so valuable, especially in the Gold House with these younger delegates. You know, you want to have that relationship, and you want to be somebody who they can turn to and somebody who they can ask questions to and talk to.
I absolutely adore Lael. I think that she is really good in emergency situations, both emergency and emergency situations, the fire last year. How quickly she got everyone out of there and how calm she was, not freaking anyone out. It was incredibly professional, and I think that she did an amazing job at that.
Victoria Hill, Brookville delegation. How are you going to help delegates be comfortable using parliamentary procedure?
So I think the big thing about parliamentary procedure is just memorizing it. I know that sounds silly, but you just have to get it in your head that to leave, you gotta say certain things, and to come back in, you gotta say certain things. And I think you just really gotta listen to it a bunch of times.
Yeah, so I think that the way that parliamentary procedure works, it kind of works in stages, the way that I view it, you know, before Model, and making sure that those delegations that are smaller have all of the resources that they need for those younger kids, and making sure you're checking in on them and making sure that they have that. And then while you're at Model, maybe being a little lenient at first and slowly amping things up and making sure that, you know, they're prepared for their next years in the program.
Melissa Curie Butler, Y delegation. What do you think makes you unique to the other candidate?
I think that we're pretty even in terms of qualifications. I think that I have some experience outside of the program that influences how I operate inside the program that has definitely helped me a lot with shaping, you know, how I would like to run things.
Yeah, we're pretty much equals. I know that I do a lot of work with younger kids. I'm a student mentor. I help in some of the younger classrooms and teach them with the student teaching program we have at our school. So I'm pretty good with communicating with younger children. So not younger children, but 6th graders.
Kate Paredes, Obama delegation. What are your experiences from Model that you want to change for Model 2024?
I think that I should wear more sensible shoes next year because I was running up and down the halls in these things the entire Model, and again, I fell down the stairs again. So I think that I should.
I can definitely empathize with that. I think Model last year was really incredible. Something that I would love to focus on is organization and making sure that as soon as I make a decision about a bill calendar or you know, something like that, I'm communicating it with the person who authored the bill or who was sponsoring it. You know, there were times where I was running around trying to find somebody and trying to figure out if I was speaking or when I was speaking or what was going on, and I would love to try to kind of make sure that everybody knows where they're supposed to be.
time for questioning has elapsed. Candidates, you may make your way back to your seats. We will now welcome Editor-in-Chief Lydia McMullen for some brief announcements.
Hello. I will now explain the procedures to be followed in conducting the elections convention. First off, please add a justice candidate in group I as in iceberg, Ada Ravitsky. Make sure you add that. I see a lot of you pulling your packets out. After your dismissal from chambers, you will report to your delegation caucus room for the Meet the Candidate session featuring all of today's candidates for the position of Gold House, Senate Committee Chair, Blue House and Senate Committee Chair, Supreme Court Justice, Press Manager, and Gold Speaker of the House. During the Meet the Candidate session, each candidate will receive 3 minutes total to speak and answer questions in each room. Please end promptly when the timer goes off. Candidates, when you are done with one delegation room, move to the next. After the Meet the Candidate session and lunch is completed, all delegates must return to delegation rooms for a second opportunity for candidates to meet them with certain delegations. Candidates will have the ability to visit any delegations that they wish to visit to further their message. Delegation leaders are responsible for allocating the amount of time each candidate receives, and as such are recommended to give an equal amount of time for all candidates. Furthermore, we will be utilizing an electronic voting system to ensure voter privacy and election legitimacy. Advisors have been provided with a QR code to vote and will also be sent a link to distribute to your delegation. These will lead you to your voting form. Please follow all the instructions on the voting form exactly. If there are any questions about the voting procedure, please first direct these to your advisor as they have been provided with a voting guide. The chair would like to remind the delegates to use this Meet the Candidate session carefully and responsibly evaluate the candidates for each office. The asking of offensive questions will not be tolerated. Delegates should ask appropriate questions to determine whether candidates are qualified to hold the office they are seeking. Failure to comply with this rule could result in your loss of voting privileges and eliminate you or your entire delegation from awards this year. I repeat, failure to comply with this rule could result in your loss of voting privileges and eliminate you or your entire delegation from awards this year. Please report any misconduct to your advisors or any state YMCA staff. Delegations are reminded that the rooms, hallways, cafeteria, and auditorium should be kept clean. Please leave these areas better than you found them. If you put posters up on the wall, take them down at the end of the day. If you have brought stickers, please do not use them unless they are attached to candies or other items. You are now dismissed to Meet the Candidate session. Have a great day.
Yeah, so